It seems as if things are being taken away, and it is rarely understood initially that their lack of value is merely being recognized. This is a powerful quote from A Course in Miracles. Welcome back to Inspirations for Whole Wellness. I've felt that. I have felt that it feels like things are being taken away from me. I'm sure you felt it too. A lot of us have been feeling that throughout our lives, at least I have. And it's that sense of abandonment. It's that sense of I have no control over things that I lose, that end, that are being taken away from me. What we don't understand in our greater path of our journey, of our conscious evolution, of our spiritual awakening, however you want to call it, however you understand this process that we go through in our lives. What we don't understand is that what's happening is not that things are being taken away from us, it's that we are starting to understand and recognize that they never had value to begin with. And so the Course in Miracles really helps us differentiate the meaningless from the meaningful. The Course tells us that a lot of what we see around us is an illusion. I hope you're not turning off the video at this point. I hope you're still here. I know a lot of philosophies, a lot of spiritualities talk about this world being a dream, this world being an illusion. A Course in Miracles says the same thing. And if you're still listening, it means that you're open to this conversation. I know when I first got introduced to this, I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean it's an illusion? Like, everything feels so real. It feels real. Our senses tell us it's real. But we know that when we tap within into a part of us that's beyond just what we see, we have other experiences that are beyond 3D, beyond five senses, beyond just what we see. And it's an inner knowing. So it's not because I say it, it's not because the Course says it, it's not because you've heard it from Buddhism, from whatever. It's because you feel it to be true somewhere deep down. So back to what this quote is saying. It seems as if things are being taken away. So all our lives, those of us who have experienced a lot of loss, a lot of grief, a lot of abandonment, a lot of just things being taken away from us. Not everybody has had this experience, but I know I speak to a lot of people who have been in a path like this. What we don't recognize initially is that it's not being taken away from us. What's happening is this observer, this higher self, is starting to go through the process of recognizing that, and is showing us, and is showing the ego part of us that we're just awakening, we're just realizing all these things that weren't that meaningful. So we're starting to recognize their lack of value because we focus so much on all the things that we have, all the relationships, all the material stuff, and when we lose them, it feels like, oh my gosh, it's such a huge loss. But the meaning was never, we tried to derive meaning from these things, but the process is to see that the meaning was never there to begin with. The meaning was always within. The meaning was always in recognizing I'm one with Source, I'm one with God. So it's been a very hard lesson for me to recognize. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an expert at this, or that I see everything that I lose or everything that ends, that I see it as I'm just merely recognizing that it doesn't have value or it's meaningless. I'm not going to sit here and say that, because I still go through the process of grief and loss, and that things are meaningful to me and I don't want to lose them. However, with things that have happened in the past, and I am able to look back with a new set of eyes and ears and a new mind looking at those things, I realize how much attachment I had on those things, how much meaning I have put on all these things, and how much power I've given away to these things, to these relationships, to these people, to these situations, to these things. And I wasn't seeing back then the meaninglessness. It was my ego being attached to those. And then when I started getting freed from those, I realized, where do I need to focus my attention after all? Is it on all these things that I've been losing? Is it on all these things that I've been trying to get meaning from, but there was really the wrong place to be looking for meaning from? And we all have that sense of, I think we all can say that we all feel that deep sense of emptiness deep down. And that we're trying to find meaning in all these other things, all these relationships, all these attachments, because we feel that lack within. But A Course in Miracles tells us the only lack you really need to correct is that you feel separate from God, is your separation from God. That's the only lack you need to correct. Yet I'm trying to not lose all these things, and I feel that they're being taken away from me, when in reality, it's a blessing in disguise that they're closing, that they're ending, the ones that are, not everything, obviously, because it's showing me their meaninglessness. It's showing me the illusion. It's showing me what's real and what's not, what lasts and what ends. And what is eternal is the only meaningful thing. And I can find that within me. So it's that hole that we have. It's that hole with HOLE, not the W hole. Exact opposite. It's the hole, the emptiness that we feel within, that we try to fill that void with all these other things, and then when they're being taken away, it's like I'm empty again. But I'm not empty again. I just gotta tune back into who am I, and let source come through me, and I can feel the fullness and the wholeness with the W in that moment. So that's why I love A Course in Miracles, because it brings me back to that awareness, and that the things that end and the things that I grieve and I lose and I'm not happy I lose them, I can go back and look at them and say, okay, actually was their lack of value that was being recognized, not that they were taken away from me. So I hope this inspires you. I hope this stirs up some inner feelings and knowings about this whole conversation. I'll come back with more, leaving you in whole wellness. Bye-bye.